Well, we talk about Joseph, and everybody knows Joseph's story. The favorite son of the favorite wife, and so he's walking around. He gets a coat of many colors, which is not, by the way, the homosexual flag. It just means that he was favored because to have clothes that were dyed different colors was extremely extravagant at the time. So he has this coat of many colors, and his brothers are notably jealous of him. And I think that Joseph is kind of a twit. He's the guy that spies on goes and reports to daddy about what his brothers are doing. Right. And so they don't like him very well.
No, understandably so.
So he shows up in the coat, and they decide, hey, let's get rid of him. Let's, kill him.
Well, right before that, he's saying that you guys are all going to worship me.
The whole thing.
You guys are all going to worship me.
You're all going to worship me. You're going to fall down. And the mom and dad, and they're going, you arrogant
little. His brothers looked at each other and said, okay, we're going to take care of worshiping you, okay, Joseph?
Yeah. Yeah, so
we're going to worship you in the pit.
So they throw him into the pit. Reuben's going to come and rescue him later, but along comes some traders from what country was that? Midian?
Midian.
Yes. How odd. So some Midian traders come along. They sell him to him, and they take him to Egypt and sell him there. Goes through all this stuff in Egypt, being imprisoned, and then but always honoring God in all he did. Finally gets brought before the Pharaoh, and he prophesies to Pharaoh about the famine coming up and take care of that. Then his brothers show up. And his brothers come before him, begging him. Now, he looks more like an Egyptian than a Jew at this point, probably has a shaved head, which is a good look, by the way. And it's probably tan from being in the sun and wearing the makeup that the rulers of
Did he have a beard, though?
Maybe just that little short one with the snakes things in it. I don't know. So they come before him. They don't recognize him, and they're not allowed to stare directly at him either, so they didn't hear or understand.
And he's speaking to them in Egyptian.
Speaking to them in Egyptian, had a translator, so they don't know who it is. And they're going, oh my goodness, they're bowing before him and begging him, and and he says, well, and then he puts a cup in their saddlebags that you're trying to steal from me. I'm going to keep him. No, don't take him. That's my father's favorite, and he's going to, Benjamin. And so they go through all this stuff, and finally we get to one of my favorite passages about this in Genesis 37, verses 23 through 28. So it came to pass when Joseph had come to his brothers that they stripped Joseph of his tunic, the tunic of many colors that was on him, and they cast him down and took him into the pit. The pit was empty. There's no water in it. And then let's skip to the next one, 45, verses 1 through 5. Then Joseph could not restrain himself before all those who stood by him and cried out, make everyone go out from me. So no one stood with him while Joseph made himself known to his brothers. And he wept aloud. And the Egyptians in the house of Pharaoh heard it. Then Joseph said to his brothers, I am Joseph. Does my father still live? But his brothers would not answer him, for they were dismayed by his presence. Oh no. And Joseph said to his brothers, please come near me. And they came near, and he said, I am Joseph, your brother, whom you sold into Egypt. But now do not therefore be grieved or angry with yourselves, because you sold me here, for God sent me before you to preserve life. This is an incredible picture of Christ in this. He wept aloud with this. Jesus wept over Jerusalem.
Right.
Cried over what was going to happen to it. And he hears this. And his brothers who had put him up there for this evil thing, God used for good. Jesus comes, he's beaten, he's tortured, he's put on a cross, crucified.
And what is
redemption?
And what do the brothers represent? The brothers represent the Jewish tribes. And who was it that put Jesus on the cross? The Jewish tribes put him on the cross. So it's also a picture of the fact that the Jewish tribes didn't recognize, just like they didn't recognize Joseph, they didn't recognize the fact that Jesus was the Christ.
Yes.
And they crucified him for it. And these guys are doing the same thing. All they're trying to do when they first got Joseph, and yeah, he was being a little bit arrogant, but either way, it's a picture of the Jewish tribes discarding the Messiah into the ditch.
Discarding the chosen one. Because that's really what Joseph was representing, was the chosen one.
Into a ditch. And what's the ditch? Where was Jesus thrown? He was into a grave, just like a ditch.
Grave, yes.
So it's a picture again. And the picture is the fact that, but it also states that Joseph takes out removes the disguise, speaks in regular language to them, and what do? Now they recognize him.
Well, at first it says they didn't answer him, for they're afraid. They're dismayed.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, is he really still mad about that whole throwing in the pit and selling you into slavery for all this time joke?
Did we kill the Messiah?
Yeah. Well, and I think that, but after that, I think is one of the most interesting things when it says, I am Joseph, your brother, whom you sold to Egypt. Don't be grieved or angry with yourselves. So I think this is talking about the redemption of Israel also.
Right.
We have so many people that as we said, the tribes represent the 12 tribes that crucified Jesus, and there are churches that say, well, the Jews are cursed because of that. But it says here, no. God has forgiveness for them, because what they meant for evil,
God meant it for good.
God meant it for good.
Yeah. And there's several other items that talk about the relationship as well, because at one point Jesus comes to and where was Joseph crucified? Where was Joseph sent? Joseph was sent to the Gentiles, and he was administrating for them and making their lives better. And when the Jews come, he does the same thing. So it's a picture of Christ after he was crucified.
Yeah, and how did he make it better? When they believed what he was telling them.
They believed it, yeah. When they finally figured out this is the guy that we tried to throw in the pit, and now he's going to bless us. And that's exactly what Joseph wanted to do.